In this video, I'm going to share with you guys a simple yet effective 5 ETF portfolio that not only offers a ton of dividend income from day one, but also some growth potential, diversification, and this portfolio in general is going to be very, very tax efficient. I want to make a video building a simple portfolio because I personally don't really have a simple portfolio. I currently hold around 27,000 different shares of around 57 different companies that I definitely need to do some spring cleaning and condense some positions. So in efforts to share with you guys a very, very simple, effective portfolio, let's go through the 5 ETFs that I would include in this. All to say that if this interests you at all, make sure to stick around until the end, drop a link down below, and let's get right into it. My A to Z dividend investing ebook has helped countless dividend investors get started with their journey. And my custom dividend tracker that I'm constantly using here on the channel has also helped so many investors stay on track and allow them to see their dividend income in real time. Well, today I have another treat for you guys. I'm not only going to offer you my A to Z dividend investing ebook and the custom dividend tracker, but also just for a short limited time, I'm going to be adding in my brand new weekly dividend blueprint ebook to show you how you can get started with weekly dividend ETFs and add this into your investing strategy. This offer is not going to last long, so go ahead and click the first link down below in my description, and you're going to get both ebooks and the custom dividend tracker bundle. But like I said, please act fast because this won't be around for long. Now let's get back into the video. Now before we dig into which ETFs are going to be inside this simple yet effective 5 ETF portfolio, let's first get on the same page and really look what we're solving for. So I want this portfolio to first of all offer a ton of income potential from day one, a nice amount of cash flow every single month. But I also want this portfolio to offer diversification, relatively low beta, and I want the portfolio to have some growth characteristics to still help the portfolio grow over time. Sort of as a bonus, I also want this portfolio to offer some tax efficiency because especially when you're earning a ton of income, that's going to be definitely helpful. Now the first ETF in this 5 ETF portfolio that definitely solves for basically all that is going to be SCHD, my personal favorite dividend growth ETF across the entire markets. Now SCHD is going to offer around a 4% starting yield more or less with around 11% dividend growth over time. Which means that buying into shares of SCHD, even if you don't necessarily have the biggest yield, I mean 4% isn't massive, you're going to get paid more and more dividend income, at least based off of historical averages. Now this ETF offers exposure to around 100 different holdings, so it's well diversified, it's definitely tax efficient, and the ETF has grown over time like crazy. So the number one position would have to be SCHD as a foundational position in this 5 ETF portfolio. Number 2, the next ETF in this 5 ETF dividend portfolio that's going to offer around 5% yield starting, some dividend growth, is relatively tax efficient, and also has grown over time, is going to be the Amplify CWP Enhanced Dividend Income ETF or DIVO. Now this ETF is awesome because like I said, it offers all the things I talked about. It offers exposure to around 34 individual holdings, super high quality names at that, names like Visa, names like Caterpillar, names like Microsoft, etc., etc. But then with it, as you can see down here, this ETF or the fund manager of the ETF sells individual cover calls and names to generate a lot more income than you would be able to otherwise if you didn't do so. Now, if you guys haven't noticed so far, I love the cover call strategy. I love the idea of owning an underline, especially a high quality underline, and then selling call options to generate a ton more income. I mean, I not only buy into cover call style ETFs, but I also sell cover calls on my own individual positions. So this ETF is going to specifically offer low beta. It's going to offer some growth, like I said, around 5% yield starting, monthly payments, which is awesome, and tax efficiency. DIVO is going to be number 2 in this 5 ETF portfolio, and DIVO is personally one of my favorite positions in my long-term portfolio that I've held on it for years now. Number 3, the next ETF in this 5 ETF portfolio that, like I said, is going to achieve basically more or less what a lot of us dividend investors are looking for, is going to be GPIQ or the Goldman Sachs NASDAQ 100 Core Premium Income ETF, an ETF that offers NASDAQ 100 exposure, but you guessed it, sells call options in order to offer a ton of income potential. Now, the objective of GPIQ is to seek current income while maintaining prospects for capital appreciation. Now, like I always tell investors that ask me what they should do with their portfolio, I always tell them to do the exact same thing. Build out a strategy, build out an objective just like this fund has, and then find different ETFs or stocks that match what you're looking for. So for example, this ETF is going to seek current income, but also along with that, almost secondarily, prospects for capital appreciation. So because this portfolio that we're building right now, this 5 ETF portfolio, the goal is of course income and capital appreciation. I would say this ETF definitely crosses that off. Now, as far as yield goes, trailing 12 month at least for GPIQ is offering around an 11% yield and pays out around 40 cents more or less per share per month. So not only are you getting NASDAQ 100 exposure, which maybe or maybe you don't want, but also you're getting it through an income-oriented strategy, which at least so far in the last 12 months is offering around an 11% yield. All to say that as far as NASDAQ 100 cover call style, income style ETFs go, GPIQ is one of my favorites across the markets, and I've been buying it like crazy so far in 2025. Now, this next ETF in this 5 ETF portfolio might throw you for a loop. I don't talk about this ETF necessarily as much as other ETFs on my channel, so maybe this is a new one for you guys, or maybe not. But QDBO, or the Amplify CWP Growth and Income ETF, is an ETF that I personally haven't added into my portfolio in the last few months. Now, I still have a relatively small position of QDBO, but I do want to grow it over time because this ETF offers basically what I'm looking for as an investor. Now, to go into detail on why invest in a QDBO ETF, it says growth and high income potential, seeking capital appreciation from growth-oriented stocks with high monthly income from option premiums and dividends. So the cool thing about QDBO is that it offers a very similar strategy to DIVO, but instead some of the names in QDBO are going to be names like Nvidia and Apple, for example, which are going to be higher beta, which means more implied volatility and more option premium. Now it says equity exposure and lower volatility, covered calls and dividends may help reduce volatility versus the overall market during times of broad-based market declines. Now, this is simply because this ETF doesn't just hold on to these individual stocks. Like I said, it does sell individual calls on names, which is going to help protect against some downside. Now, the cool thing about QDBO is that it offers, like I said, exposure to some of those names like we talked about, but also has around a 10% plus distribution rate, which means you're going to be able to generate a ton of income, relatively speaking, based upon even a small portfolio. So again, QDBO is relatively new. It's a small position in my portfolio, but I have my eyes on it, and I would not be surprised if I make this a larger position in the up and coming days or weeks. Now, lastly, you guys did not think I was going to forget SPYI, or the News S&P 500 High Income ETF, as my final position in this 5 ETF portfolio. This ETF seeks high monthly income in a tax-efficient manner with the potential for upside appreciation in rising markets. Now, again, I can't speak for everyone, but if you were to ask me what my investment objective in the stock market is, it's pretty much close to that. I want a lot of monthly income. I want it to be as tax efficient as possible, but I also want my overall portfolio to have some potential upside, because who doesn't want their net worth to also grow over time? Now, I've talked about SPYI so many times in the past. Definitely check out some of my other videos. I've done deep dives into all these ETFs, which I'm sure a lot of you guys will love. But this ETF offers like a 12 or 13% trailing 12-month dividend yield and offers around 50 cents more or less per share per month, which definitely adds up very quickly, especially as you buy 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 shares. This ETF would for certain be the final ETF in this 5 ETF portfolio. Like I said, that I want to offer growth potential, income potential, tax efficiency, and diversification. So even though I personally do not have a small portfolio, meaning that I don't only hold on to a few positions of a few stocks or ETFs, that right there is a very simplified 5 ETF portfolio that, like I said, for the most part, crosses off everything that I personally am looking for. Now, if you're looking for more growth potential, more income potential, or whatever the case might be, there's honestly products out there throughout the market that almost solve for every single thing us investors are looking for these days, which sure makes it feel like it's a better time to start investing than ever as of right now. But lastly, before I go, I do have a question for you guys down below. Out of all 5 of those ETFs that we talked about, if you, for whatever reason, could only hold on to one of them, which one would you choose and why? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like in it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.